In this video, I am going to take one problem statement, few lines of code and show you step by step how can you increase your productivity using ChatGPT. No stories, no blah 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 things about ChatGPT, just how it can help us in our day-to-day activities. Let's see that, guys.
So guys, let's take a reference code and try to understand how we can systematically ask questions from ChatGPT and get our work done. Okay, so suppose you join a new team or a new project, and then your project manager or your team lead comes to you and tells you, hey, here is the reference code for web scraping. Okay, take this reference code and build a model, machine learning model that can predict the sentiment, and I have to give the URL as the input. Okay, so if this is the URL, for example, Unfold Data Science is the URL, your machine learning model should go and extract the data and do a sentiment prediction for that data. Okay, so that is what your task is, and your project manager or your team lead gives you this piece of code as a reference. Okay, now you are a newcomer, you don't know what this code does or how to go about it. So very first thing that comes to your mind is, hey, what this code is doing first of all. Okay, that is the first question that will come to your mind. So I have gone to ChatGPT and I have asked a series of questions, and I'm going to make you understand how you can increase your productivity using these techniques. Okay, so first question I'm asking here is, what does this code do? And in the big bracket, if you see, I'm giving that code which you saw here. Okay, so first question I want to understand is what this code is doing. So ChatGPT tells me this code makes a HTTP GET request to this URL using the request library and then passes the HTML content using beautiful SOAP. It then searches the meta tag using find method and prints to the console. Okay, in very simple language, it is giving you what this code is doing. Now you have an idea of what this code is doing. Okay, the next step is how you can utilize this code. You can't use the code in like this way only, right? So first thing is you want to get a structure of this code. So how do you get a structure of this code is, you will say create a function of this code which takes URL as argument. So see here what question I'm asking. You want to use that in a function way, right? You don't want to use it in this way. This is a very raw way of using the code. Obviously you want to use it in a function way and handle the exceptions as well. So first of all, what I want to do, create a function of this code and take URL as the argument. Okay, so what ChatGPT gives me, you can see here, I have given my code, it gives me the function. Okay, that is your second step. Now you can directly take this function and use it, but I want to use ChatGPT for more things. So what I want to do is I want to ensure this function is handling the exceptions as well. So what I'm saying here, make this function capable of handling exceptions, because your project manager or your team lead may not be happy if you are not handling exceptions. Okay, so ChatGPT gives you code that handles exception as well. Now if you can see here, it is a much rich function here. Get metadata. This is inside a try catch block, which means exception handling. This is again inside a try catch block. So this is a better code now. Okay, now compare with the previous code that you got, guys. This is your first code. Now you have written a better code using ChatGPT. Okay, what we have to focus on is we have to focus on asking right questions to ChatGPT. Now I have this code. Okay, so what I want to do next is I want to ask another question to ChatGPT. How to use this code in a machine learning pipeline for data extraction? So it's a very straightforward question, and this is what my need is, right? I want to use this function. That is what the ask was from my manager, right? So I have to build a machine learning model that can go to website, fetch the data, do the sentiment analysis, right? So how to use this function in a machine learning pipeline for data extraction? If you see the answer here, guys, it's a beautiful answer given by ChatGPT. See, it gives you first prepare a list of URL you want to extract, which means how do you prepare your training data. Okay, then use this function to extract, then store it in a pandas data frame, then pre-process as needed, and then use the pre-processed data as an input to your machine learning model. Very nicely written 5 steps, and this is not enough. They have given code as well. So you can see it is doing everything that was mentioned there. And there are some examples URL. You can change these URLs to whichever website you want to go for collecting your training data. Okay. And then everything is stored in a DF. Now what we have, we had started from a simple, 3-4 lines of web scraping code. Now we have a pandas data frame with kind of training data from multiple websites. Okay, so as a next step, you want to train a supervised learning model, right? So in a supervised learning model, what you need to have a labeled column, what you need to have a labeled data. Okay, so that thing is still not there in this df, only that data will be there. But still, if I ask ChatGPT, hey, can you train model for me? See here, train a sentiment analysis model using df data frame in this code and give evaluation metric, I'm saying. So what I'm saying is build a model and give me the metric. Also create it in a object oriented way. So I want to create in a good way, oops way, so that it makes more sense, right? So what it does is it will tell you I can't do that. See, unfortunately, I can't do this task, does not contain enough information to train a sentiment analysis model. In order to train a model, you need to have labeled data. That is what I was telling now. We need to have a labeled data. We don't need only the text. We need labeled data, right? So now what I need to do, I need to go and generate labels for those text, right? That task also I am going to do with the help of ChatGPT. So see here, modify this function to return sentiment of the output as well. Put the text and sentiment in a pandas data frame. So very specific question I'm asking, so that I can take this pandas data frame and I can train the model directly. Okay, so here I'm giving the function, and at the moment I say, hey, in one column you put the text, in other column you put the sentiment. Okay, so what ChatGPT is doing is it is giving me complete code, if you see from here to here, and in the end it is adding sentiment as well. See here, meta sentiment is equal to, using some text blob methodology, it is adding sentiment. We can obviously change and ask for sophisticated techniques to add sentiment as well. Okay, now you have data. So what you can do is you can simply go and say, train a sentiment analysis model using this data. So it is going to give you the complete code. Now see where from we started, guys. See, we started from these 5 lines of code, and now what we have in front of us is a kind of full code for training a sentiment analysis model, which handles exception, which goes to the web, fetches the data, and which is written in a right way, and which can impress your manager and your team lead. Okay, so with this simple example, guys, I tried to tell you, every time you are into a new work, or you are unaware of any concept, or you don't know how to do something, at least start from some point. Okay, once you start from some point, then you will, and if you ask systematic questions, right? What is this? What is that? Apply some brain, yourself, and then ask systematic questions. I'm sure ChatGPT is going to increase your productivity by many margin. Okay, so I hope you like this video, guys. Now this is a idea generating video. This is not like how you have to do. This is like how I did in this case. In your case, you can take a, different questions you can ask, which makes more sense for you, right? So this way you can utilize ChatGPT. It's not only for fun, it can increase your productivity. Okay, so please give me a thumbs up, guys, if you like this video. I'll see you all in the next video. Wherever you are, stay safe and take care.